When I decided to name this, the Electoral College, America's Appendix, When Will It Burst? I didn't even know how insightful I was, because when I did the research I did and its power in the national election, holy cow. So, in the United States history, in 1789, when we were born, we created an electoral college that was made up of your 2 senators and how many ever representatives you had. So if you had 5 representatives and 2 senators, you had 7 electoral votes. We did some things right and wrong with that, and I've done other videos on that, so I'm not going to do that right now. So let's get to this. When we were born, we thought it was reasonable to have about 35 to 40,000 people represented by one person in Congress. When we started, George Washington, James Madison, 2 people who felt like that was, at least that. You couldn't have more than 40,000 represented by one person. For the record books, today in the United States, instead of 1 for 35 to 40,000, we have 1 for 761,169. I'll say that one more time. We have 1 for every 761,169. In 1929, the United States, after doing a census every 10 years, like 1790, 1800, 1810, 1820, 1830, all the way to 1920, we did a census. We calculated how America had changed and grown, and then we added more people to the House of Representatives. So the House of Representatives started with 59, and as of 1922, really, we had 435. And in 1929, just a year before the next census, we passed a law called the Permanent Apportionment Act of 1929 that said we are not going to grow the House of Representatives any bigger than 435. We're just not going to. The Senate can grow if we add more states, and we did, because in 1929 we had not added Hawaii or Alaska. So when we added them, they each got 2 senators. But believe it or not, from the 435, we had to steal from other states to give a couple, 1 to Alaska and 1 to Hawaii. But the point I'm trying to make is that the House was ceilinged, capped out at 435. You cannot go bigger than that. America hasn't changed hardly at all since 1929. Haven't even grown very much at all, only by 200 million people. Has America evolved from 1929 over the next 95 years? And the people who moved west, the people who moved south, the people who moved to the southwest would change the apportionment of the Electoral College. So just as a couple fun examples, in 1852, New York had 35 electoral votes. Florida had 3, Texas had 4, California had 4, Ohio had 23, Pennsylvania had 27, Virginia had 15, Georgia had 10. Today, and I'm not talking about today, I'm talking about yesterday, literally, because they just changed it again. But New York had 35, they now have 29. Pennsylvania had 27, they now have 20. Virginia had 15, and they have more if you count both states, West Virginia and Virginia, but Virginia itself only has 13. Florida went from 3 to 29. Texas went from 4 to 38. And California went from 4 to 55. But no matter what happens, every state has a minimum of 3 electoral votes. What do I mean? You get 2 for the senators and 1 for your House of Representatives, even if you don't have any people living in your state. Even if you don't have 40,000 people living in your state, you still get 1. Now, every state has at least 40,000 people, so that was kind of a mean thing to say. But here's the point. If you look at the states with 3 electoral votes, those states are North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Montana, Vermont, Delaware, and Alaska. Add them together, you get 5.7 million people. And electoral vote-wise, they have 21 electoral votes for those 5.7 million people. They would be on par with South Carolina. They're just a little bit more people than all of Alabama and just a few less people than Minnesota. I'm not saying Democrats are right or Republicans are right. I'm saying, holy cow, why don't we let everybody just vote equally? You're not better than me. I'm not better than you. Nobody from Delaware is better than someone from Alaska or South Dakota. Nor is a South Dakotan or a Wyomingian more important and better than someone from Washington, D.C. As an American, if I think democracy matters and that dictatorships are bad, let's do democracy then. No matter whether you're Republican or Democrat, do you really think it's fair that somebody with your opinion, whichever way that goes, should have more voice than another person? I'll quit there. Please take a look at some of the other videos that I have done on Electoral College and some other videos that are associated with some of the topics I bring up, and have a great day.